Hey, what is going on YouTube? Hey, Ron here. We are back in the Z-46 for the first look video. This is honestly such a good little destroyer, and we are actually dubbing over this audio because the audio was screwed up thanks to the Twitch app. So first ever dubbed over video, and we're actually at the airport now, boys. Come back from Florida, so if there's some background noise, I'm sorry for that. We're just going to go with it. I've done this recording 3 times, but somebody has missed their flight from Allentown, so if you hear a call for that, then it's just going to be in the video, so cool beans. But anyway, we're kind of sitting here, and we're talk about strategy and just kind of the versatility of the ship. We get a very good XP score, a decent damage total as well. But more importantly, we do our job in a destroyer, which is I just see so many destroyers YOLOing in and dying in the first 3 minutes of the game without accomplishing anything. And we know that our job in a destroyer, number 1, is to spot for your team. Number 2 is to get capture points. I use those points 1A and 1B because if you can't spot, then you need to get the caps. You should be thinking about caps first and then kind of spotting. You know, you're going to spot stuff if you're getting in the caps. But anyway, we're working ourselves towards the cap here. And we notice that our twist and track switches, that is the little half gray circle on the top of your screen there. And as always, I will show you the commander build and stats of the ship at the end of the game. But we're looking at that. We're thinking about throwing some zoning torps here or off to the right. We do have a Shima kind of pushing in with us, and I don't mind his flank here. He's actually avoiding B, which is fine because I'm going towards it. But he does push in a little aggressively here, and there are 3 gunboats. There's 2 gunboats and a Lo Yang in this game, so I would not be pushing as aggressively at that in a ship that's rather defenseless towards those ships. And there is the Friesland. Now we're going to wait here to shoot to see if he shoots. Now he does shoot, and we're hopefully going to kind of remain out of fire. Now if he switches to us, we're going to smoke up here and try to catch him in a hydro. We have the same distance hydro. I think it's 4-4 for both of our ships, but he decides to blast the Shima down to 5,000 health, and instead of shooting his guns, the Shima decides to throw his torps, which is not a bad play because he actually ends up clipping him in the tailer. But if you can see, we trade none of our health for 10,000 of the Friesland's health, and even if he didn't get a torp there, he was on another permanent fire, so he would have been very low at the next engagement. But good zoning torps. I just wish the Shima would have shot his guns, and he would still have more than 3,000 health. But again, he won the engagement, which is good for our team, with obviously with our help. But that is one of the strengths of this ship. It has very good guns. In the meantime, you can see me ping this area because our twist and track is actually not at the Friedrich de Grossa. It is to the left of him, so we know that there is another destroyer there. And we actually see that the Lo Yang and Yugumo are spotted out on the opposite sides there. Yep, and that's why we look out there to see what they're spotted. Sometimes pinging a destroyer will help your friendly destroyer by knowing what the other, if the other destroyer is not spotted, you can guess what the other one is if the other 2 are spotted. And we know that it's the Kaaba, so we're not going to shoot here because he can easily outgun us. He has more health as well. He does have good side armor, and we're going to take advantage of that. Now we see him coming in, we smoke up, and we pop our hydro to try and catch him in a little trap. And in the meantime, while he is spotted, we're going to shoot and obviously take another blind fire here, which hits. And you notice we switched to AP, and we talked about that Kava's armor. If you look here, I think this is a 3,500 salvo. That's a 4K salvo, and the reason we put our torp short is to take his engine out, as we did on the first shot, but he repaired it and actually kept straight because of the Shima torps. But we got his broadside, and he's in our hydro range, and he's just dead in the water. So we see the Friedrich coming in. We're going to launch some torps here while dodging the Kaba torps. Very slow Kaba torps, but without hydro, they are very hard to detect, so that hydro in the smoke is always a beneficial thing. But anyway, we got the solo capture point, and now we're taking assessment of what our team is doing. I kind of look at all the enemy battleships back here, and then I look at our friendly battleships taking the scenic route on A and kind of give them a little, hey, hurry up. There's nothing wrong with going out to that flank, but if you don't cut through, if there's nothing over there, you need to cut through A and immediately deliver the crossfire, because they could be shooting at those ships on the backside of D there. But in the meantime, we're looking, and our Kagero goes down right now. And so I'm thinking, okay, need to ping these guys, need them to get their butts and move into action here, and as well as go over and support our friendly battleships. They have pushed forward, at least the Yamato did, so we're going to go help them out. We're running out of our hydro here, which is fine, so we need to play it a little less aggressive than we would if we did not have the hydro, but what we're going to do is play defense. We have 3 of the 4 caps right now. We are taking up on capture points, and I actually think one of the the enemy battleships goes down here soon, taking our points in our favor even more. So like I talked about at the beginning, getting those capture points is essential to your team's victory. I see so many teams worried about kills and damage, and while those are important, it is not the most important thing. Capture points and map control are far more important. You could have all your ships alive at the end, and as my Montana game showed with the Solo Warrior, if you have the capture points, it doesn't matter, because we got map control and cap control, and we won that game. But in the meantime, we see that at least one of the destroyers is in the cap, and I'm looking at the cap here, and it looks like it's ticking pretty fast, so we think that both of them are in there. We are located, so they do know where we are at, but we also have them on hydro. We did throw out some zoning torps, which did miss, obviously as the twist and track goes over here, but that's the idea of zoning torps. You can suicide rush with your torpedoes, which is fine, but the Lo Yang gets spotted here, so we decide we're going to get out of here. We're not going to full press this engagement, and trade a little bit more HP off the Lo Yang than we get on us. But if you can actually see 4 out of the enemy 6 ships here all fire at me, which is what they should do, but none of our friendlies really shoot at the other enemy ships here. Now, they are kind of facing away behind islands, so you can't really blame them. But as a friendly battleship, you have to shoot at destroyers. You have to shoot at destroyers. 20% off of a destroyer is worth more than 20% off of a battleship in terms of XP at the end of the day, which will earn you more credits. And help you get the win, honestly. I see too many battleship players lobbing shots over other destroyers and cruisers just to hit a battle tanking Yamato at 20 plus kilometers. So if we improve all tiers of all classes of gameplay, then the games will be a lot more enjoyable. But anywho, we've got our twist and track back on these ships, and again, we're just going to throw out zoning torps. These German torps have pretty good range, and like I said, as stats and commander guide will be at the end of the video here, I'll link that in a timestamp. And what we're going to try and also do is avoid taking torps from the battleships behind us, so we're kind of angled out here in case we need to turn. And we see that our twist and track ticks again. I throw out zoning torps a lot because it's always better to get lucky than just to hold on to those torpedoes forever. People have 20% accuracy rates with their torpedoes, and that's just too high. Some of the best destroyer players in this game have lower accuracy rates, and that's because they're throwing zoning torpedoes. The Shima actually does a good job of that, at throwing torps up the gap here, but he does get a little bit too close. Which, again, he only has 2,000 health, and those other destroyers were headed back this way. Plus, there's multiple battleships in the area, so I'm not sure. If I was a Shima, that's not where I would be in that position. In the meantime, we take a cheeky shot at the Izumo there, and for some reason I was detected, but Wargaming will work that bug out eventually. In the meantime, the Shima actually, I think, proxy spots the Lo Yang, or the Bismarck in the middle there hydroed him, or the surface detected him. I'm not exactly sure, but he is spotted, and we have our hydro back up, and I'm thinking in my head right now, if we can take him out, we can provide a huge advantage for our team. Now, we do see the Yugumo also pop up, so we pop our hydro, we pop our smoke to take as minimal damage as possible now, and the Yugumo actually does tickle us a little bit, and we're kind of running out of HP to play with. The ship does have a lot of HP, but it's not enough to be a true gunboat, open water, charging into everything. Also, the angle of the guns, as you can see, there's 2 in the back and 1 in the front. So it's not favorable for that. It is favorable for kiting, though, and that is what we're going to do here. Throw out some zoning torps and get that guy, as the Lo Yang has us on hydro, so we need to kill him. We take, like I said, a little bit more damage than I would have liked to at this juncture in the game, and luckily the battleships were not in a position to shoot us, but that's kind of due to our placement on the map. But we get the Lo Yang and we lose concealment here, and now I'm thinking, okay, if I just live, our team should be able to live this. We did not get to kill the Yugumo here, and the Shima, for whatever reason, decides to throw torpedoes and charge into their massive ships with 1 gun. But again, not exactly sure, but he did proxy spot or keep the other 2 destroyers spotted. So at this point, we have spotted all 4 destroyers, killed 2 of them, and helped kill 3 out of the 4 now, while leaving the other one at 2,000 health, and the Yamato actually takes a beautiful shot from the north side of the map there to finish him off. So in the meantime, we just have 4 battleships left, and I think during the recording, in which the audio is messed up, I'm like, I just need to live. All I need to do right now is if our battleships want to duke it out, that's fine, but I just need to live. And again, I'm not sure why I'm detected here, but we know our concealment is 5-0. I'm not going to shoot and just get out of concealment range to avoid dying at this point. And in the meantime, we're going to throw zoning torps up the middle of the gap here. I always recommend stacking torps when battleships are facing you. That's something I need to do in practice a lot more than I preach, but that is part of dubbing over audio. I can make myself sound like a better player on a recorded game. But that's why I like the live replays. You guys can kind of hear my thoughts during the game. In the meantime, though, we're going to throw those zoning torps at the Azumo. Now we see that he's backing up, but he's covered by that island here, so I don't want to lose torpedoes on that island, so we're just waiting for a good opportunity here. But he is backing up, so we're going to go ahead and throw those here. Well, he's actually not backing up, but he does back up at the start of this torpedo drop. And we're going to get on the backside here so we can spot the ships, number one, and think about getting into the decap. But we notice that we can lob this turpits over here, and that's kind of what we do. We anytime you can shoot for free or utilize island cover, I always love to see people like, why is that destroyer hiding in smoke or that cruiser behind an island? Well, because he's smart. Anytime I can hide behind an island, I will, even in a battleship. Now, a battleship is meant to tank damage per se, so you shouldn't really be behind an island most of the time in a battleship, or a lot of the time. But we get 3 hits there with 2 floods, so we're keeping a mental check that Azumo is on damage con, and I think we switched to AP here because we're getting a lot of shatters with HE, and we already have 1 fire. But in the meantime, we were racking up a nice damage total, doing a lot in terms of cap control, defense, map control, and we've had a hand in killing all 4 of their enemy destroyers. So the Azumo backs up broadside here, and at this point, the game's over. We have 3 enemy ships alive and up 300 points. Now, I actually look at the HP of our ships after this, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't have shot here because we're only at 5,000 health, but I wanted to get the kill and the permanent fire. But we turn into the shot here, and the Azumo actually lands like 2 or 3 of them to take us down to 1k health. So if we didn't get the kill here, then we were probably in a little bit of trouble. But we actually, the Alabama gets the kill there, and we're sitting pretty with 1,000 health. But that is just the versatility of the ship. Now, this enemy Yamato has chased a battleship around the entire map, doing no damage, utilizing none of his health, and doing nothing for his team. So he's sitting broadside at the end of the game at 3 minutes. I would recommend maybe applying a different strategy if you're a Yamato player, but that's just me personally. No harm, no foul in the way you want to play the game, but it is a team game, and there are 8 other people on your team, so being selfish is not the best way to do it. But we get another capture point here, I think, before the game ends. So, 2 caps, 2 defends, and 2 sinks on destroyers with, like we said, a lot more damage on the other ones. But I'm just going to kind of sit back here, relax, and let you guys, think about proper destroyer player and things like that. At this point, I'm just moving into the caps and basically tanking XP. But if you see our team's position, we both teams did a semicircle around the map, which it's not the best strategy, because if you have a smart team, the enemy team should have flanked back and they could have controlled a majority of the caps if their destroyers decided to not push in one by one, or had any sort of coordinated team effort. But like I said, we did our job, and this ship is great at it's great at everything. It has smoke, it has radar or hydro, it has engine boost, good guns. Now you can see the angle of our guns right now. You're able to shoot at targets in front of you, but you only have the 1 gun in front, so you will need to angle a little bit to get at least 2 guns on target. But that second gun in the back there, you can see, has a very good forward firing angle. So it's a little more useful as opposed than the Z-43, which has a slower reload. And that similar harsh forward-facing gun angle on the back. But we kind of, I actually don't think we get this cap here, but maybe we do. I don't remember. I haven't gotten to this point in the game. No, I think the game ends. Yeah, the game ends with 1 second here. But yeah, that is the game, and we finished with a nice XP total at the end here, 35, almost 3,600. No high caliber, no Confederate, no fancy medals. You don't need the medals to do well. We're almost 1,500, 1,600 XP above the next placed ship. Yeah, here's the build we're running, or the stats of the ship. This 19,000 you saw in the game. We got the 128s with a 3-second firing time. It actually feels quicker than that, but it says 3 seconds there. Pretty decent German torpedoes, not that much damage. 10-kilometer range, decent speed. Like I said, it's just a decent overall ship. AA defense is average there for a destroyer. It's not bad. Pretty good top speed, decent rudder shift, but kind of sluggish. The turning circle isn't awful, but it's a destroyer. There's the armor if you really care, and the little ship stats. And then obviously we are running Eric Bay. And I want to show you guys the smoke here, I think. But we're running Eric Bay for our commander here with, I think, Swirsky and who else? Oh my gosh, Aaron, look at this. Look at the commander. This is why I don't like dubbing over audio, but I think eventually I'll look at the commander here. There he is. Yeah, so Mordov and Swirsky here. So we could probably throw on Sims there for a little bit extra health at the tier, but we do have, yeah, Twist and Track, and you can see Observant Rage, look at me now, Twist and Track, and then I forget the fourth. I think it's a smoke perk, but yep, that's the build with Unstoppable and our inspirations. I'm going to sign off here. That is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will be back tonight. We'll be streaming, great time, so stay tuned. And for video purposes, run out. Peace.